Sawadee Krab. What's going on, people? Welcome to another Chiang Mai video. It's your boy Martin. I hope that wherever you're watching this from, that you are having a great day. And if you're not, I hope your day improves. I appreciate you watching my channel and showing love. So in this particular video, we're gonna talk about getting scammed in Thailand. And really what I'm talking about is Northern Thailand, because that's where I live. That's where I've spent most of my time in Thailand. And the culture in Northern Thailand is different than the culture in Bangkok and Southern Thailand. So before I get into my own personal experience, I do wanna just emphasize the fact that this is based on Northern Thailand, and B, it's based on my own personal experiences and everything that goes into that. So, that means I am a white male that is in my 30s. I carry myself a certain way. I'm pretty muscular, so that plays into it. There's different factors. So every person, depending on where they are and whatever situation that I find them, whatever situation that they find themselves in, is gonna have a different experience. So you could take me in these situations that I'm gonna describe to you, and maybe if you're a different person, you look a different way, you carry yourself a different way, whatever, you might have a different experience, and that all goes into that, and that's important to keep in mind as I'm talking about this. So let's get into it. My own personal experiences in Northern Thailand are, to put it bluntly, completely opposite to what you will find online if you go on these various Thailand forums and expat forums. And what do I mean by that? So if you go on those forums, you will believe that Thailand is just a giant place where it's just filled with scammers and everyone's trying to take your money, everyone's trying to scam you, and the people are horrible and yada, yada, yada. So I'm gonna do a little bit of victim blaming here. I don't like to do that. I'm generally not that type of person. But what happens is when you go on these forums, online forums and different groups on social media, not always, but a lot of the time, the people that are complaining about getting scammed, they're a certain type of person, and they're looking for a certain type of experience. In the places that they go to get these types of experiences, the people on the other side of that scam, they know that people like them are going to these places looking for these experiences. And so, in other words, what I'm saying is, if you go to the zoo, don't be upset that you find animals at the zoo, because you're going to the zoo, so there's animals there. Now, my own personal experience is that Thai people have been nothing but kind to me. I mean, like, I'm gonna run you through these experiences. So, most recently, when I did the Mae Hong Song loop, which if you've been following my channel, you watched the first 2 episodes of that. I'm working on getting the other ones out there. But on my third day, on Wednesday, I was driving down the hill, a steep hill, and my front brake went out, which was really scary. Luckily, my back brake was still working. And so I made it down the hill safely. And then I tried to find a mechanic. And the first 2 places I stopped at, they weren't able to help me. And so finally I found, in Mae Hong Song, I found a mechanic, and he wasn't even a motorbike mechanic, he was a car mechanic. And this man drove to 2 different places to try to, get me somebody to fix my motorbike, to fix my brake. And then he made like 3 different phone calls, and he just couldn't find anyone that was willing to help me in the situation that I was in. So finally he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna help you. So I got in his car. Me and him drove to the local parts store. He bought a pair of brakes. Well, I gave him the money, and he bought a new set of brakes. We went back to his shop. He spent about, I'd say maybe half hour, 40 minutes installing the new brakes for me. And then so after that, I asked him Tau Rai, which means how much, and then he said up to you. So, I knew I kind of was like, given the situation and how much he helped me, I was like, all right, I'm gonna overpay him by local rates. So I suggested 500 baht, and he was like, 500 baht. He's like, haloi baht. Haloi is 500 baht. He's like, no, like too much. So he's like, 50 baht. He's like, hasip baht, 50 baht. So guys, if you don't know the exchange rate, 50 baht is less than $2 US. So this man, he drove to 2 different places, made 3 phone calls, drove me himself to the parts store, got the brakes, and put in a half hour to 45 minutes of labor, and he was gonna charge me less than $2. In my mind, I wasn't okay with that. So I ended up arguing with this really kind man for probably like 5 minutes so that I could give him more money. So again, I'm arguing with him to give him more money, right? Like, how crazy is that? And so finally we settled on 200 baht. He wouldn't take more than that. So, which is about $6. And that was just, it was just such a nice experience, right? Like, I mean, he was so kind to do that, everything that he did. And he, you know, I had to argue with him to give him more money. Prior to that, day 1 of the Mae Hong Son loop, right? I went to, which you guys, if you watch the video, I'll drop a shameless promotion. I'll drop the link here in the video if you want to watch day 1 of the Mae Hong Son loop. So I went to Doi Intanon National Park, to the Mae Ya waterfall. And so when you go to Doi Intanon, you pay, as a foreigner, you pay 300 baht, which is like $10 US, for the entrance fee. And that gives you entrance to the entire park, right? You can access everything in the park. But the place is huge, right? So there's a lot of things to see there besides the waterfall. It's an enormous, enormous national park. So I saw the waterfall, and then as I was leaving, I was thinking about going to the Twin Pagodas because I wanted to go back there because I've only been there once, as I mentioned in the video if you watch it. But I was looking at the time and I was like, you know what? I don't have enough time to make it and then make it to Mae Sariang as well. So I decided just to go to Mae Sariang. So I'm exiting the waterfall, and there's like a gate with the guards and stuff. And so as I'm exiting, I'm slowing down, and the guard like tells me to pull over. And he asked me like, you know, where you go? And I said, Mae Sariang. And he's like, Mae Sariang? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you no pagoda? I forget what he said exactly, but basically I'm not going to the other areas of the park. And I was like, no, Mae Sariang. And he's like, okay, hold on, give me ticket. So I give him the ticket, and then he goes inside his little booth, and he comes back out, and he gives me 150 baht in cash. Cause he's like, oh, you know, basically like I didn't make full use of the whole park. I only went to see the waterfall, so he didn't think it was fair that I had to pay the entire 300 baht entrance fee when I only went to see this one part of the park. And then we had a little exchange, and we talked about, you know, waterfalls in Thailand and da. And then I was on my merry way. And again, that was awesome. Like, he didn't have to do that. You know, he could have just been like, okay, who cares, foreigner, go, you know, you paid your money, I don't care. But he went out of his way to do all that just to give me half my money back just because, right? And this is something that happens to me all the time in Northern Thailand. Like, even when I go at the grocery store across the street from me, right? Like, whenever I'm shopping, the cashier, they'll always be like, if they see that I'm buying something and there's a coupon for it, they'll usually, most of them, because they know me, they'll be like, oh, hold on, Kun Martin, coupon. And then they like scan the coupon for me, you know what I mean? So like, again, Northern Thailand, different from, you know, Bangkok, Southern Thailand, but the people up here are just so kind. Like, yeah, and I just want to put this video out there to put that out there, because if you go on the internet, like I said, and you start reading and researching Thailand, you would think that the whole place is just filled with like a lot of scams and all this stuff. And it's like, that's not true. You know what I mean? Like, yes, there's scams, right? And there's scam artists everywhere, all over the world, even in your country, wherever you're watching this from. And again, different, like I said at the beginning of the video, different things go into it. You know what I mean? It's my appearance, my demeanor, the way I carry myself, all of that, and the way I present myself, you know, as well. All of that goes into it. But my final note that I want to leave you with is this, is be on your guard. Yeah, be vigilant. Don't let someone take advantage of you. But also be mindful of the energy you put out there, right? Like, if you're going into all these interactions and you're like, oh, they're gonna scam me, and you're kind of like putting this negative energy out there, like people sense that, right? And then I feel like you are more likely to get scammed, right? Because you're already putting that energy out there, and you're kind of, you know, you're not being a nice person. You're like looking at everybody as like a potential scammer, when that's really not true. So yeah, just be mindful and be aware, like, if you are, because scams do exist, but don't assume that everyone's trying to scam you, right? And be kind, show respect back. And also, speaking a little bit of Thai goes a long way. So another thing is, I know how to say, I know how to say a lot of different things in Thai, but two phrases on this subject that will help you. One of them is paying mak. So paying is expensive and mak is very. So if someone gives you a price and you say, oh, paying mak, you're saying, oh, it's very expensive. And then you say, lot noi dai mai. So lot noi dai mai means, can you give me a discount? And there's been so many times even where that's worked, where like I went to a place, you know, I remember going to a different waterfall and you had to pay the entrance fee and then you had to pay for like parking as well, because most of the national parks is an additional fee parking. And I kind of jokingly was just like, oh, noi dai mai. And the lady waived the parking fee just cause I asked in Thai. And then I've gotten discounts so many times where I just, you know, in the interaction, to be honest, I mostly say lot noi dai mai just to like flex my little Thai skills, just to show that I can speak a little bit of Thai. Cause I think it's fun to try to speak Thai. But a lot of the time it actually works. Like if you say, yeah, lot noi dai mai, you might get a discount, you know, you never know. So might as well try. It even worked in Bangkok actually. So I don't want to like, you know, trash on or like shit on Bangkok or down south, because there's nice people there too, right? I actually did this lot noi dai mai thing in Bangkok most recently when I was down there, and I ended up getting a discount there too. So there's nice people there too, but I do think that generally speaking, there's more scammers and scam artists in Bangkok and down south. And it's also because it's a capital city, right? Like you go to any big capital city, there's gonna be more scam artists. That just comes with the territory. So as a final note, as I said before, don't go to the zoo and then get mad if there's animals there. So meaning like if you have certain intentions and you're a certain type of person and you're looking to get into certain things and then you get scammed, yeah. So just be a good person, be mindful, be vigilant, be aware of like, you know, if someone is trying to scam you, but just don't go into every interaction with that negative energy. You know what I mean? Because just from my own personal experience, and I only give you a few examples, like this happens to me constantly in Northern Thailand, where again, the people are just so kind. And most of the time they're actually trying to save me money or help me out somehow financially rather than take money from me. So that's it. Thank you again for watching. If you enjoy this content, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Sawadee krap.